Ahoy! It's Adam Paul Morgan with the It's Morgan podcast. How you doing? Yeah, I'm alright. Yep. Just seeing an advertisement. It's never too early to buy for Christmas. Yes, it is. It's far too early. We haven't got Halloween out of the way for all this crap that's made in China that's been brought over. Something I've been whinging about before, and I'm going to whinge about it again. Right, okay, pumpkins, right? You buy the plastic one. Where's it come from? China, right? Okay, or you get a real one, you carve it out, and you throw all the food away. That is stupid. There's amazing things you can do with pumpkins. The seeds are delicious. Put a bit of ginger, a bit of salt, a bit of pepper on them. It tastes delicious when you fry them. They're nice. Many things you can do. Worst case scenario, you make a pumpkin soup. Bit of soup. Nice to warm you up at these time of year. Well, when I say this time of year, it's really warm. Supposed to be having the sort of hottest October. Oh, and as for September, like I said in the previous episode of the podcast, warmest summer or September since records began. If I put money on that, I'd be slightly wealthier than I was before. But it was obvious, though. It's a silly bet to make. Same with this month. It's supposed to be 20-odd degrees centigrade in October. Them spiders are going to be huge. It's not going to be get the insect repellent. No. It's get the fucking flamethrower out for them bastards. But I was just walking around the shopping centre. That's what just what. Having a look in the garden section, see what's reduced, make the garden look all nice and all that. Might as well make the most of it. Have a nice glass of wine in the sort of later evening. As you do. Well, as I do anyway. I noticed a fucking great big rat in there, so I thought I'm going to scarp her out as well. If there's a big rat, get the terriers out. Get the terriers to rip them a new one. I have absolutely nothing planned for this. I'm just absolutely rambling out because I hadn't done anything all week. It's been a very, very busy week recovering from the COVID. I think I'm over the long COVID now because I'm not having the brain fog. Are you allowed to say brain fog? I don't know, but I read it on the NHS website, so I presume it's true. I'll have a drink of this. Have a drink of this while it's fizzling. Not a sponsorship, but I am drinking a natural energy drink with caffeine. That's not Prime. I can tell you that now. It's sparkly. If they pay me, I'll tell them what I'm drinking. Very nice. Very nice. It's an energy drink that's not Prime. I didn't know this until the other day. I was getting some apples because apples are good for you, unless you're a dentist. Dentists don't like apples, but an apple a day keeps the doctor away, except if the doctor's a dentist. But anyway, and there was a young, well, when I say young man, this bloke looked older than me, and he was buying one of these energy drinks. Well, one of them stupidly overpriced ones that doesn't actually do anything. And he got ID'd. He was asked for proof of birth, proof of age, for a fucking energy drink. And I said, do you ID'd him for that? New starter in the job. Hadn't seen this guy before. Oh yeah, we have to ID them if we think they look 16. One, I didn't know that, and I think they should. Can't believe it. They're getting rid of cigarettes and they're moving on to energy drinks now. And, you know, you get ID'd for these energy drinks because they do send the people hyper. But this guy who was being ID'd, asked for identification. Right, I'm 38. This guy looks older than me, full-grown beard and everything. I'm like, what? All right, okay. But the guy was new in the job, and obviously they throw the force down. Young man behind the checkout, and he was just being cautious. You know, I'd rather embarrass myself than lose my job. Fair enough, I was the same when I was doing it. But obviously they're going to try and ban, I talked about this in the last one, ban smoking for young children, which is great. But they're not running off to the toilets for a crafty fag now, are they? Oh, sorry, cigarettes, sorry, that's the slang. Don't upset the Americans. That was our slang first, before it was classed as an insult. With our old cockney rhyming slang, whoa, up the apples and pears. No, for a cigarette, yeah? Going off for us, crafty ciggy break. No. They're off to vapes now. In fact, they're even fuck it. They do it in class. There was a news headline about it. So, yeah, they're banning one thing, but they're hooked on another. It's stupid. It's like me giving up video games and moving on to Lego bricks. They're very popular and very fucking expensive, but people pay the money. Oh, driving down the other day, there was a bunch of people in the orange high-vis. And they were crossing the road, and I thought, this is as I was driving down, and I thought, here we go, it's just Stop Oil. It's them, they're going to delay me. I was at work, boy. Oh, they're going to make my delay, great, fantastic. No, it was the volunteers doing the litter picking. I was really disappointed. I really was. I could have got out of a lot of work. I wouldn't have been aggressive towards them, but I would try and strike a conversation to it. I was like, okay, just Stop Oil. So, you there with the Doc Martens on. If you watch the news and these reels or whatever it is on the socials, the video clips on the news, there's always one with Doc Martens on, and all the Doc Martens, as far as I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong, have the anti-slip oil shoes, anti-resistant oil slip. So they want to stop oil, yet they're wearing the stuff to protect them from oil. Fucking hypocrites. It was like a guy around the corner from where my wife works, the Vegan Society. Okay. Right, the Vegan Society. I like a pork pie, say no more. But the Vegan Society, there was a guy in the building as I was driving round. And he looked like he'd had a full day of bitching about the world. Very hard day. And they've got shutters, these metal shutters that are mechanically brought down with a key, and it's all electronic and all that. So as the shutters were coming down, I've had many experiences with these type of shutters, particularly when they break. And trying to fix them is a fucking nightmare, I can tell you. My hands were covered in oil. So I thought, well, those shutters are going to have oil in them. Where did the oil come from? A dead dinosaur. So a dinosaur died years ago, so the Vegan Society shutters can come down. Fucking hypocrites. Dare they? A wife's friend told me wife, and she told me there was some sort of vegan parade, and basically this guy was brought up on a farm, and he just went and got himself a pasty or something like that, steak one, and they had a go at him for it. Like, why? That's his choice. That's their choice. Now I'm going to back for either side. I do like a steak slice, but I wouldn't buy it from where they bought it. I'm not going to say it because I own a couple of shares of them. I wouldn't buy it. No. I've always felt sick after one of these places. Maybe you should go on the vegan thing. Well, let me tell you, I did go partially vegetarian, and it's very difficult to explain this one. I did go partially vegetarian, but not 100%. Here's why. I was working at an outdoor activity centre for kids, when you go on the school trip and some holidays. Your archery, your air rifles, your rock climbing, all them sorts of outdoor stuff. I was working for them. And we got free food from the catering. However, the catering was fucking shite. And I'd actually got food poisoning from undercooked meat the once. Now, that wasn't enough to put me off my meat, I can tell you that now. But it did put me off eating food from that canteen. But it was 9 miles away. Was it 9 miles? Something stupid like 9 miles away from the nearest shop or the big town, and there was a little shop around the corner, but it was only open, and we were working from 7 in the morning till 10 at night, and it was 9 to 5 village hours, so there was no way of getting to the shop for food, so we had to eat at this thing, plus we were paying for it out of our wages, 40 hours a week, and we were only getting at the end of the month £100, and this was 2006. Lovely plane going over. That was 2006? 2006, 2007, and I was getting £100 a week for 40 hours. But they'd say, it's your training, your accommodation, and your food comes out your wages. That's how you get you. So be careful, young people. But the food was crap. Fucking awful. And on top of that, they put you in as an apprentice as well, just to get more money out of you. But they do that. But the food was that bad. I actually thought a couple of us did it. Well, just eat the vegetarian stuff because it's just artificial crap anyway. It's just basically cardboard, and you can't really get ill off cardboard, as far as I know. And it was all vegetarian stuff. And I don't mean like vegetables or fruit and things like that, nuts and things like that. This is like the sort of fake bacon, vegetarian bacon, vegetarian sausages, vegetarian burgers, all that sort of stuff. It was just like full of genetic crap thrown in, and it was fucking horrible. But it was food, and we had it. But as soon as we had a day off, which was once a fortnight, we'll be straight down Spoons, Weatherspoons for the Americans, which is a chain of pubs, and it'll be like, burgers and chips, steak and kidney pie, roast chicken dinners, things like that. All because just to get food inside us, because there was nowhere to do. Then it was like stock up on snacks and things like that, and sort of survival food, pot noodles, living off them for a few days. But eventually I quit because they were like, we were doing 40 hours and they were like, yeah, you need to do more hours, it's in your contract. I was like, I've had enough of this. For the money I was picking up at the end of the month, I was like, nah, this ain't worth it. If I was going to do it full time, but if the business goes and you're an archery instructor, fancy telling them at the job club, which I done. I got laughed at by my own parents for that, because I was fully qualified for archery with a gene as I was back then, but you've only got 10 years. I said I was going to dig the information out, and I'll have a look. You could just write to them and you just, give them a tenner and they'll reinstate you. As long as you do the safety things correctly, it's fine. Just fair enough. But, imagine going to the job centre, I'm actually a qualified archery instructor. And my parents laughed. There could have been a job out there that teaches archery. And I got laughed at. But they were just bastards anyway. Let's not talk about them. I got a whole hour's shows to talk about them, but that's for the future. I can't use all my good stuff now. I've got to save it. I have to tease you. The Little Mermaid, the new one, it was on Disney Plus. I'm going to talk about it. I didn't watch it, but my wife did. Because I'd watched the cartoon and I thought, I don't want to watch the same bloody story again. Which is basically the story about a spoiled little brat who has everything but wants more. As far as I'm concerned, that's the story of The Little Mermaid. My wife watched it and she said it was really good. She said it was the best one of these Disney remake ones. I was like, okay, you're going to watch Snow White? Shall I take you to see Snow White? She's like, yeah, you're alright. Don't know what it's going to be like, but the actress has, just irritated everyone. Oh, it's so hard. That's what she says. So hard. I have to wear that dress all day. Oh. But we don't know the actors thing going on. Could be a massive delay for anything, exciting to go and see. So, okay, between now and the end of the year, what's new coming out that's worth going to see? Can't think of anything. At all. The film that is made by the director of Rogue One. That, I have no idea what it's called, but that is probably worth going to see. But we've got the Halloween round the corner, so we might get a good horror film on the TV. Now, when I say a good horror film, there's a lot of crap ones. I think the ones that are crap are the slasher type films, and actually, teenagers in the woods and gutsy. She's got her boobies, flopping out and all that, and she's dead too, but it's later. Those, you've seen one, you've seen them all, but a good horror is the film that makes you think outside. But horror, thriller. Alright, moving on. Thriller. Silence of the Lambs, good film. A little bit scary, a little bit. But it's like, can you play on the mind? It's like when Hannibal Lecter escaped. I think, what is this guy going to do when he's out? Then we found out 10 years later, and it was like, well, it weren't what I expected, but it was alright. It wasn't great, but it was alright. That's the problem. Good horror film. Psycho. No, if kids watch that now, they'll just laugh. The Shining, again, they'll just laugh at that. It's trying to teach kids about a good horror film, but because of the ratings and all that. What is a good one that you could show kids? The Others. That Nicole Kidman one. That's a good one. Is that Christopher Eccleston in there? Someone let me know in the comments. I'm sure Christopher Eccleston. Anyway, the one with Nicole Kidman that is, one of the best supernatural horror films I've ever seen. And it's got a lower rating as well, but it is really, really somewhat scary film. I don't like watching horror films. Oh no. You don't like that sort of sense of emotion, but you'll watch shit on ITV2 every 5 minutes. What's my favourite film? The one with the mannequin? Mannequin? Jesus Christ. Watch Only Murders in the Building. Oh, how can I talk about that without giving too much away? Because most people haven't watched it, but I think I know who. What can I say? What can I say? It's pretty obvious. No, I can't even. No, I can't. I've got a theory. I've got a theory about season 4. I can't talk about it because I don't want to give anything away. It's difficult. Let's move on. I've nothing to talk about. It's a fucking podcast. Come on, be professional. Hold on, and a professional is someone who gets paid. I don't get paid for this. Talk about politics. In Britain at the moment. This is what's going to happen. This is my theory. The two parties, the Conservatives who are in and the Labour Party, who are not in, who will most likely win. Now, this is my theory. Agree with it or disagree. If the ones that are in currently stay in, they're going to fuck it up even more. If the other ones come in, they're going to fuck it up even more. Right, moving on. Gaming talk. Dun, dun, dun. Will the drama of this Microsoft Activision buyout ever end? There's a guy on Twitter, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, who does the reports and all that for gamey stuff. Says for the past couple of weeks, every Friday, it'll be sorted next week. Next week it'll be sorted. Wait, next week comes. Next week it'll be sorted. Yeah. I just want to play Spyro. I don't want to pay to play it, but because I've got the Game Pass for free, I just want to play Spyro. I just want to have it. I've never played it. I would like to play it. I'm not bothered about Call of Duty or Diablo, whatever. I got the third one on the Switch. I don't really enjoy that one, if I'm honest. But, I just want it all to be over. Either way, yay or nay, can I get to play Spyro or not? Crash Bandicoot 4, because my PlayStation subscription's running out and I've got that on the monthly games. That's a point. I don't even know what this month's are for the PlayStation. They've done the gamey talk. If you're a subscriber to their higher tiers, I cried when I found out. You do get a selection of films you can watch through their Sony Pictures thingy-me-do. If you know what I'm on about, this is where I lose people. This is, you get to watch them. But I've looked at the list of films and it's something you can't watch elsewhere. So it's a nice little feature. Individually, there might be a film, if you rummage round, that you might want to watch. But I looked at it, I was like, well, I've either seen it or I've got no interest in. That's the lot, about 100 films. But the things I was looking forward to see, you got to pay for. And that's the Spider-Man Into the Spideyverse. The second one, with the Miles Morales animated films. The first one's really good. I've heard the second one's really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I might get it on DVD, actually, if it's out. Might treat myself. If I can find it. Never mind. Moving on. What else is that? The Uncharted film. Now, I had to pay for that. Same with the Spider-Man film. You've got to pay for that. I really want to watch that, because I quite enjoy the Uncharted games. But I don't want to pay extra, if you know what I mean. I'll wait for it to come on one of these Netflix or something like that. And Morpheus as well. I've heard it's really bad. I've heard it's really good. I did not know. I'll have to wait and find out. Oh, now for me, there's about a handful of people in this world who will understand this. The French Eve. There's a guy called Eve years ago who's French and he did not know. Smoking a cigarette, he does not know. And here's why. Right, this is going back to the Outdoor Activity Centre. This is another company. I worked for 2 companies in the past and I like my lesson. This is a French group from France, obviously, who came across the tunnel to where we were. We met them. And on we went. Then we had to speak to the guy, a French guy, the leader of their group, who've come all the way from France. And we asked them, perfect sense, to say, how many kids have you got? And his reply was, I do not know. He was smoking a cigarette, I do not know. Maybe 93, maybe 92, I do not know. Takes a puff of his cigarette. And I still giggle to that to this day, and there's only a handful of people in this world who get that reference. It's like, you're taking 90 plus kids from one country, under the tunnel to another, to a foreign language place, and you're responsible for these kids. You're going to know how many you've got. Maybe 93, maybe 92, I do not know. Still cracks me up. Like I say, I'm not in contact with anyone who would get that reference. A guy who was a model for the Freeman's catalogue. I don't know what he's doing now. There's a lady who lives in Bermuda. Her husband might get it. Because they got together. Well, they didn't get together, but they met while working together. I don't know what she calls himself. A transvestite. Biologically, he has a cock and balls, but he's now a lady. I don't know. I want to see Transformers with her, or whatever it feels like. Ironic. Transformers, the first one, many years ago. He will get the reference. The manager, Dave, he'll get the reference. Funny old world. But coming up as the weeks go by, now I don't know, the only time I look at my analytics, that's all the sort of facts and figures, I did notice that it gets more popular at the weekend. I'll try and put it out on the Monday. I'm going to put one out on the Friday. Give me something to do in the week other than Xboxing. Starfield, it's great, but it's good, but it's not great. That's true. I've given up. I've got bored. As a casual gamer, I'm bored of it. Party Animals. That's for me. You just play as an animal and you go around knocking people out. Over and done in 10 minutes for a quick game before dinner of an evening. That'll do me. Party Animals. So what have we learnt today? Christmas is selling really quick. They want you to buy to keep the shareholders happy and keep the children in China in work. Fed up with the Xbox Activision. I just want to get it over and done with. I'm not the only one who's excited for Spyro. Yes, I am. I think that's it. Look, this is unprepared. I don't even put pen to paper for these podcasts. Maybe I should. I don't do any notes. I just find a bit of time, set up the microphone to my phone, and just talk absolute bollocks for a bit. I hope you've enjoyed. I'm Adam Paul Morgan. I need the money, so please subscribe and listen regular, and have a good one and relax.